What's going on, guys? It's Gig Guy Grant. It's been a long time since I've had to say that. In fact, it's been 2 years. So today is Monday the 23rd of June 2025. My last video was April 2023. So yeah, it's been just over 2 years. Yeah. Last video I done, I checked, it was the 6th of April when I recorded. Yeah, and that's when I just hopped into the E-Class. I was renting that car, paying £230 a week. Yeah, a lot changed since then. So whenever I still had the Instagram, I still had the YouTube channel for a while, which in hindsight I regret deleting. But I just had a lot of stuff going on in life. So where was I? Last time I had the E-Class, I was renting for $230 a week. I was doing some work on Addison Lead, doing some work on Uber Exec. Yeah, I was doing work on a few apps, doesn't matter now. I'd done that last video just before my daughter was born in the middle of April. So I already had quite a lot of stuff going on. There was already about to be a big old change. So yeah, I was adjusting to that. And then that's when I changed over to the Tesla in July. So I got a Tesla on rent from WeFlex. I don't want to go into too much detail right now. I did do a little podcast thing about this, but I was missold. I was told by the sales manager at the time that I could do Uber Exec in the very near future, as they had the inside word from Uber, because there wasn't many choices at that stage of electric vehicles that were going to be suitable for exec. The sales manager knew at the time that I was in an E-Class. So I went from paying $230 a week for an E-Class that I got executive work with. I paid £1,000 deposit for the Tesla that was non-refundable, and then I had to pay £263 a week with the little bit of Uber money that I had built up. Yeah, the Tesla didn't work out too great for me. I was paying out more money per week and not getting much executive work. Addison Lee do accept the Tesla as an executive car if you're an owner driver for them, but you are limited to some of the work you can take. And I did have one client in particular who, at the end of the trip, he requested that I can tell him how that the office can never send him a Tesla out again when he's booking executive work. So that kind of gives you your idea of how people rate the Teslas as a passenger. Yeah, I was obviously cracking on with life. Trying to make ends meet while paying out extra money for this Tesla now. I was having to pay excess mileage as well. So some months that was anywhere from like £75 to £150 a month, just excess mileage. I ended up doing £3,000 on tyres in, I think I had the car for around 15, 16 months. £3,000 on tyres, including one blowout. That one was a killer, the blowout, because I'd done a full day's work. I think I'd done about £250. Had a blowout on the M25 and ended up having to pay like £280 for a tyre. So a whole day's work just gone out of nowhere. Yeah, so obviously at that time I still wanted to do some video stuff, but there was just a lot going on. I ended up getting engaged in December, went out to Iceland for that. When I got back, I was having some ECG heart stuff. Nothing too concerning, but just something I wanted to get checked out. My daughter ended up going to hospital, who was born in April, ended up going to Great Ormond Street for some checks. So that was a lot of stress going on. Everything turned out to be okay in the end. But so I did have the idea of doing the Beyond the Surge podcast, which I did try and start. I recorded the first episode in my living room. And that was in January 2024. And that was me trying to start off the year well. Obviously, Uber is a little bit quiet then, so I was just trying to use my time well. I had ideas for the podcast, but my issue was space of where to record and where to like leave the equipment and stuff. But in the end, I did try and rent like a small garage space from a guy on Facebook that was attached to the side of his house. Paid out the money, and then while sorting stuff out, it turns out the garage wasn't actually watertight. So that ended up getting cancelled. And yeah, before I knew it, March 2024 came along and I had a second daughter born. That was 11 months after the first baby. yeah, so I'd got a Uber paternity payout from the first baby, but for the second baby, because it was in less than 12 months, I couldn't claim. So that was not helpful, but here we are. It was just it just added to the whirlwind, it added to the stress, it added to the financial, stuff was just going on constantly. So yeah, obviously it was just continuing on. I had some good weeks in a Tesla, some weren't great. I ended up moving house in August 2024. So left the Brentwood area, ended up moving to like the Corringham, Stamford-le-Hope area. And at that time, because I was still trying to plan for the podcast, I wanted to make the podcast happen. Ended up paying extra money out because we was renting, and I wanted to have an outdoor space that was suitable for the podcast. So yeah, ended up renting this space that had like a little studio space out back, and it was just going to take a little bit of decorating because it had been like done for like a little, I don't know, like a beauty studio or something possibly. But yeah, when we moved into that house, ended up having some issues with the landlord. The electrics weren't even supplied from the house to the back house, so that took ages to get resolved. And yeah, with the continuous issues, ended up moving out of that house. But we had started to buy equipment like tables, microphones, microphone arms, lights, and was planning on getting lights installed and everything. So if you look into podcast equipment, there is ways you can do it cheap if you want and audio only, but I wanted to do video and I wanted to make sure that the audio quality was good. So I was trying to not cut corners. That's my issue, I guess, on being a perfectionist. But yeah, it didn't happen. Ended up moving out of that house. With no podcast recorded. But before moving out of there, the Tesla ended up going back in October 2024. I'd got the car June 2023. So that is like 16 months. I think I've done 70,000 miles in the car, possibly. I'm not even sure. So I had to get like all the paintwork sorted. I had to replace back tyres before giving the car back because they were killed. As I said, I've done $3,000 on tyres in the time of owning the vehicle. And then, so I gave the Tesla back. I had a Hyundai Ioniq from a friend for a short period. I think it was only like 3-4 weeks. Lost out on the Uber Green work, lost out on the exec work, which I kind of knew. But this Hyundai Ioniq was hybrid. Yeah, it wasn't the best car in the world. It does what it does. It's an okay car. I'm not going to knock it too much, but it just weren't for me. So yeah, ended up giving that car back, and I went back to Hotspot where I got my E-Class from originally. I paid it a bit more money this time. I'll put a picture up of the E-Class that I had this time round. It was quite nice, like from afar. It was like a grey one. It had tinted windows. It had like the black trim around the windows and stuff. It had a set of alloy wheels on the car that they were all curved to pieces, but I think they were from like a C-Class or something. I'm not sure. So yeah, I started doing Uber exec and stuff, but I couldn't really do much else because of the age of the vehicle. But I was just trying to balance the books a bit. So they ended up having to sort out some brakes on that vehicle. And because they were like the sport brakes, they had to be genuine and stuff. So Hotspot was trying to fight it a bit, but I managed to get them to do it. It was all okay, but I wanted to get a newer E-Class. So I ended up getting the E300E from them at some point. So yeah, I got the car from them in November. We moved house, moved out of that house, stayed with family for a few weeks. And then beginning of December, I moved into the current house, back in the Brentwood area. Once I was settled in, got the E300E, which is a newer car. That was the hybrid version, which I didn't realize at the time, but the boot is so much smaller. So when you're doing like your airport trips to Heathrow and stuff, the boot space is very limited. So if you ever look into an E300E, just consider the boot space 100%. But even that didn't go down well for me. I had 2 vehicles from them of the E300Es. I'll put a picture up now as well. The E300E I had at first, one of the main fuse cables or something for the hybrid system broke on me. And I was parked up diagonally opposite a casino in Mayfair. It was like 1 a.m. I was blocking traffic. People was blasting a horn at me. People was telling me to move the car. The car couldn't even change gear. Like the lighting on the screen would come on, but there was nothing. The engine wouldn't start. You couldn't change the gear to get into neutral. Although I did find a way to do it manually, but I had to go get the car recovered. Hotspot tried to send somebody out to my house to try and fix the car. That didn't work, so I had to end up battling them to get it recovered, and it was just going round in circles. So at this point, I was just like having enough of Uber. I ended up getting a Moped back. So I set up another Gig Guy Grant channel at this point in time, started to upload videos of all my old food delivery videos on a Moped. I got a Yamaha NMAX. I don't even want to get into that, but that bike ended up having an issue as well. And when I tried to speak to the guy, I'm not even going to name the company. Yeah, there was an issue with the key. So sometimes the bike would struggle to start up because it weren't recognizing the key. I was doing that full time, and I had the opportunity to start doing some bus driver training, which the license was paid for by the government as a scheme. So I went for it. I've done my bus driving license, done all my theory tests, practical tests, and I worked at the company after for about 3 months, I think. And it just weren't for me. I didn't mind the daytime shifts, but I hated doing the late shifts. Some of the people that have worked at these bus driving companies for a long period of time are very set in their ways. They get away with everything. They just do whatever they want, but the people who are new and trained up are expected to do everything correctly and whatever. So I left there last month, I think, and yeah, I've just had the Tesla now for about 3-4 weeks, and I am doing this stuff full time. So yeah, that brings us up to now. It's currently June 2025, so that's a couple year recap. I'm sure most of you don't care, but most people won't care, but some people was commenting on YouTube videos, some people was commenting on Instagram and stuff and just asking where I had been, what was happening with videos, what was happening with the podcast, when's the next video and stuff. So yeah, that's all my rambling finished. It is now 5:15. I'm gonna have to charge the car up later. I do have the new electric charger at home being installed tomorrow, so we'll do like a bit of a comparison of pricing and stuff. I can't charge this Tesla at the Tesla chargers, so we'll get into that tomorrow. But yeah, we are online. For some reason, I've had no jobs this morning, which is strange for a Monday. But yeah, it's now 5:15. We're on the road. We are online, back doing this stuff full time, and I'll be in touch when a job comes in. Let's go. Right, so a little change of plan. We're going to do this from 5:30 till 10:30, because by the time I've done that intro video, I then had a job come in at the end of that, and I accidentally declined it, which was £15. I've just been to the petrol station and stuff, so I've gone back online now. It is 5:25, so we're going to start this from now. I'm going to reset all the mileage clocks. So we've got 0 miles on the clock, £0 in the bank, 5:25. So we're going to go to about 10:30, hopefully, maybe 10 o'clock, and then make up the time later. Let's go. Right, so I've just accepted the first job. It's only a local one, £4 something, 0.8 miles to pick up, and less than a mile to drop off, just to Shenfield Station, so let's go. Right, so that first job is done. That was £4 something. We've got 2 miles on the clock, and we have a comfort job right now for £6 going back to the station also. Right, so that last one was done. We have got 5 miles on the clock, £11.26, and it is now 5:45 a.m. So let's go. Right, so I don't really know what's going on this morning, but it seems a little bit quiet. So it's 10 to 6. For a Monday, it is definitely quiet, but I'm going to head towards Basildon now, Billericay area. I'm just going to get out of Brentwood. I've done a couple jobs. Yeah, let's see how it goes. Right, so time now is 6:05. Still no jobs. I don't know what is going on today. Saying I did have a Uber reservation job come up for 6:25 for £12 going from Basildon back to Brentwood, but I'm not messing around with a £12 reservation job. So yeah, I'm in my little space that I pull up in at Basildon. I'm just going to turn on YouTube on the screen on the Tesla and chill until a job comes in. I'm not going to drive around no more. I'm just going to wait it out. Not sure what's going on this morning, but yeah, I'll be back when a job comes in. Let's go. Right, so the time now is 6:18 a.m. Have a job going to Basildon train station. It's only a local £4 one, so let's go. Right, so that job is done. It is now 6:23. That one paid £4.77, and it was just a 1 mile trip. So £16, 3 pence, 14.6 miles on the clock because I drove down to Basildon. So yeah, hopefully now it shouldn't take too long for the next job to come in. It's coming up to 6:30, so it should start to get busy anytime soon. So let's go. Right, so time now 6:38 a.m. I have another local job. £4 something going to Basildon Hospital. Not great at all. Yeah, filming this video today has brought no luck today. First video back and it is horrendous for money wise. I did just have a reservation job come up for £50 into Central, but that's going to be 2 hours in. I'm going to be finishing at 10 o'clock anyway, so for me that's not going to work out. So yeah, we'll go get this job done. Let's go. Okay, so that job is now done. 6:45 a.m. That paid £4.73, £20.76 in the pot, and 17.5 miles on the clock. So 6:45 a.m. let's go. Right, so thought while I'm driving back in towards Basildon, I'll talk about the car that I'm in now. So I am renting a Tesla Model 3. Renting this from a guy that I found on Facebook. Him and his friend run a little company. So I do like to try and be transparent when I'm out doing these videos and stuff. So I pay £155 per week, which is not bad money for one of these, to be honest. But I have had the last 2 weeks at a pretty heavily discounted fee. I won't say how much, but essentially this vehicle, I could see by the paint on the outside it's had a repair done before, but I never realised that the vehicle had been salvaged, so that caused a little bit of issues. So with Teslas, because of the charging, because the vehicle had been deemed an insurance write-off, they don't allow you to use the Tesla supercharging network, which is one of the reasons why Teslas are good cars, is because of the charging network. Now, I never knew prior to getting the car that you could not use the Tesla superchargers. So I have been paying through the roof for the charging. I don't mind paying for the supercharging at Tesla, but I've been using like Osprey and some other stuff, trying to charge at certain times of the day to get like the discounted rate and stuff. And yeah, so I pay £155 a week. I've had it cheaper for the last couple of weeks. So yeah, it's a blue one. It's dual motor, long range. So yeah, it's not too bad. It's got the black leather interior, as you can see. It's definitely smaller inside than the Tesla Model Y, which I had before, but hey, you can make do, that's for sure. I'm 6'6" and I make it work. There is still quite a little bit of leg room in the back. You can fit 2 suitcases in the boot with a bit of a squeeze sometimes and forcing the boot lid shut. But yeah, when I'm next charging the car later this evening, I'll get a couple clips to show you the car. I'm sure you all know what a Tesla looks like, but I'll just show you what I have and I'll show you the damage and stuff. But also the point of this, so I have this for now. I do have a home charger being installed, and that is being done tomorrow. Finally, I paid for the charger 2 weeks ago. I'm getting an Omi Pro. I've paid £649, including installation. But that is with a £350 government grant because I'm renting my property and I have my landlord's permission and whatever. But I'm in the process of applying for my renewing my TFL license. I have left it a little bit late though, which is a bit of a concern. Hopefully there is no issues. I'm just waiting now for my DBS reference number to come back so I can update to so I can subscribe to the update service, and I can give the reference number to TFL to process the application. My license does expire at the end of August, so if this goes through in time somehow, I don't know, I've made it lucky. But my plan is, once the license is renewed and I've got it all back and I have my home charger installed, I'm going to go for the Mercedes EQE. I did put a deposit on one of these before when I had the Tesla, but I ended up changing my mind. I couldn't get the home charger sorted, and I didn't want to keep paying the prices that I'm paying now for charging. So yeah, once my license is secured for the next few years and my home charger's all set up, all running perfectly, that is the plan, to get the EQE. But anyway, 10 to 7. Oh, and another job has just come up now. £6.42, 0.5 miles away, going 3 miles. I will take that. Let's go. Right, so that job is done. It's now 7 o'clock, dead on. That last job paid £6.42. We're on £27.18, 22.2 miles on the clock. We are now in Pitsea, just dropped off at the little retail park where the market is. So yeah, we're going to start heading back towards Basildon and just see what comes up. Let's go. Right, so the time now, 7:05. I've got an £8 job come up, 0.2 miles away, so not going too far, so let's go get this done. Right, so that job is all done. The time now is 7:17 AM. That job paid £8.42. That puts us on £35.60 for the day so far, and 27.8 miles on the clock right now. So as I said, we started this now from 5:30 after my little intro video and going to the shop to get a drink and then accidentally declining a job that would have started the day well. So yeah, we're going from 5:30 onwards, so almost 2 hours, £35.60. Let's go. Right, so the time now is 7:30. I've just accepted a job for just under £7, I think it was. 0.3 miles to pick up, and it's going about 3 miles or so. Yeah, shouldn't take too long. Hopefully the traffic's not too bad right now. Let's go. Right, so that's another job done. Time now is 7:42 AM. That job paid £6.96. It was 4.5 miles. I was going to Tesco in Pitsea. We're on £42.56 now. 34.2 miles on the clock. Just gonna keep cracking on. It's not been the best morning ever, but let's go. Right, so time now 7:56 AM. I did just have a job coming up going to Wembley for like £60 or something, and it's going to be like 1 hour and 45, 2 hours. If that had come up first thing this morning, I probably would have done that, but not at this time of day. I have just accepted another job for £6, half a mile till pick up, and it's only a 3 mile drop off, I think. So yeah, let's go. Right, so that job is done. 8:06 AM. That paid £6.09. That puts us on £48.65 for the day, and we have done 40.8 miles. Battery currently is on 76% as well, so at that percentage, that gives us 215 miles remaining, so that's not too bad. So yeah, let's go. See how long till the next job comes in. And you know it's not busy when you don't have a follow-on job straight away, and it's 8 AM, it's prime time. This should be busy job after job, and it's just not happening right now. So what can you do? Yeah, be in touch when the next job comes in. Let's go. Right, time now 8:10. I have a local train station job going to Leyden station for £4 something. It's probably the £4.73 minimum fare, but just gonna smash this one out quickly. Let's go. Right, so that job is done. That was £4.68. Puts us on £53.33. 8:18 AM. Yeah, that was just to Leyden station. Nothing major. Not doing that one. Yeah, we'll catch up when the next job comes in. Let's go. Right, a couple minutes later, 8:20 AM. I have just accepted a job from Basildon going to London Gateway for about £10 over in Stamford-le-Hope. Got a mile to go for the pickup. Let's go. Right, so that's another job done. 8:45 AM. That paid £10.77. Puts us on £64.10 for the day. 53.1 miles done. So yeah, I'm now at London Gateway at the back of Stamford-le-Hope. There's roadworks heading back out towards Basildon, so I'm probably gonna, if I don't get a job locally, I'm gonna head back up towards the A13 and see from there. Yeah, not much going on right now, so be in touch when the next job lands. Right, so I stopped off, went for a little toilet stop, got a drink. It's 9:20 now. I'm back in Billericay area. I've had one job come up that was 4 miles away, and it was a £4 local job, so obviously I didn't accept that. I'm going to start heading back towards Brentwood. If no job comes up, then I am going to cut the morning short. I was planning to go till like 10 o'clock, 10:30, but there is no point in me staying out if it's going to be this dead. I'd rather go back out later on, do what I need to do today. I've got some errands to run. I'm going to go to the gym. So yeah, I'm a few miles away from home. I'm going to drive back towards Shenfield area, so let's see. Right, so time now is 9:30. I have just gone offline. I'm not going to waste any more time staying online. £64, 10 pence. I've done 10 jobs. And I've done 72 miles this morning. What a joke that is. That's got to have been my worst morning in ages, and it's just typical that I'm recording this on video, but you know, we don't like to lie on here, we like to keep it honest. Hey, it's just how some mornings go. Hopefully we can pick things up later on. So I did technically start about 5:30, so it's 9:30 now, so 4 hours and £64 on a Monday morning. Hey, I'm sure it wasn't dead for everyone, it just wasn't my morning, it wasn't meant to be, was it? So, good days, bad days, we'll catch up later on. Right, what's going on, guys? 27 minutes past 6 in the evening. I wasn't even too sure about coming back out today, how dead this morning was, but I'm out because I started the video this morning, so a bit later than planned. Plus I am booked in to have the EV charger fitted at home tomorrow, so I don't know what my working hours are going to be tomorrow, so I don't have high hopes for tonight. It's probably going to be a little bit quiet, so yeah, when the next job comes in, I'll be back. Right, so the time now is 7:13 PM. I was just chilling outside Shenfield station for ages. I was actually looking back at the video clips that I've recorded this morning, killing some time. Yeah, I'm half debating whether even to put this video out, but it's been so bad today, but I spent ages recording those clips this morning, giving an update of what's been going on, so I might just have to stick this out as a quiet Monday. I've just had the email as well, luckily, from the DBS people with my reference number, so I can do the update service and send off my applications to TFL. Yeah, let's get that ball rolling. So it's about 7:15 now. I'm not sure how much longer I can stick at this, you know. Let's see how it goes. Right, so the time is 7:37 PM. I've probably picked like the worst angle to film at right now. Yeah, I've gone offline. I can't be arsed. I'm going to go back out in the morning. So this was a very, very quiet Monday. That is the balance for today. £73.38. I don't even know what time I come out this evening. I can't even remember. I give up. I'm charging the car right now. I'm at an Osprey charger just off the A127. Hopefully this is the last time I need to use the charger. Okay, so here's the Tesla. I don't know if you can really tell on camera, like you can kind of see like paint over spray marks, and maybe you get a bit of a, I don't think it's picking it up on camera, but it almost looks like the paint's dirty, but yeah, the car's all right in itself, but the damage for the paint, I'm not even sure if you're going to pick it up here either. It's very flat here. I see on camera it looks normal, but yeah, here, and like the door don't like line up too correct. Yeah, maybe I have to show this in a better light, but yeah, we're charging right now at Osprey. It's the inside. This is what it is. I think most people have seen a Tesla these days, but yeah, that's what I'm driving. It's got one of the blue The blue TFL badges, that's a new thing for me. Last time I was working, all the badges were yellow, so yeah, that's me finished. We'll call this like a little intro video of me coming back and just having a catch up, and it was just a random rubbish Monday. So yeah, that's me, 7:45, checking out. Yeah, do another video this week. Once I've got this charger sorted tomorrow as well, gives me something to have a little chat about. So yeah, thank you for watching. If you do, catch up soon. Peace out.